it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. And today we have two replays to show you in the Tier 8 British Premium Tank Destroyer, the Terrapin Mk. Now that is because this is the level 75 Season Pass tank, which is released in the new season coming out next Tuesday. So I've got two replays to show you this tank to see what you could potentially earn. Now what is this tank? Well, it is a... If you ever played the Tier 9 Tech Tree British Tank Destroyer tank, the Tortoise, it's kind of like a Tier 8 version of that in a sort of simpler, effect. It basically has fantastic DPM. You've got basically 3,993 DPM with this build, which you will see shortly, which is really good for a Tier 8 Tank Destroyer. 330 alpha, 240 pen on your standard rounds with a slow shell velocity of 792, and then 285 penetration on your premium rounds with a shell velocity of 991. And it's basically just, it's a tank destroyer which has fantastic DPM. Like, the gun is the real highlight of this tank. It has 10 degrees of gun depression and actually somewhat decent armour. But the armour's kind of like, when you're fighting Tier 8s, and you can see here we bounce quite a lot of damage in this game. It can be very effective, especially when you're using, you're on a ridge line and you're using that 10 degrees of gun depression to expose as little as your hull as possible and elevate that angle as much as possible. When you start fighting Tier 9s, Tier 10s or tanks which are spamming heat rounds at you, then your armour won't hold up for much because it's just kind of the nature it can go through your superstructure. But, as I say, the gun is just fantastic, and in the right situation, as you will see in this first replay we've got for you in Ruinberg, you can pick up so much damage so quickly. So already at this start of this game, we're on about 1,500 damage here with 2,500 blocked, and we're going to try and move in to get the damage. Now I want to try and cross to kill those tanks which are in front of me. I'm just going to make sure I can sneak across without getting spotted by the Hydra, because on the right I don't want to get spotted by that tank. I want to go and finish off this British heavy tank which we were fighting earlier, who I left on a one-shot. We are able to squeeze in the kill. So I'm on 2,800 damage, I should say. And now you can try, I kind of wanted to get behind Hydra and finish him off, but as you can see I'm getting held by the Scorpion G. So got to be a little bit careful with how I do this. This game is a very close game at the moment. I don't want to throw away all my hit points, so I am sort of backing up, keeping an eye on the angles. Can I get behind the Hydra and start taking them out, who are tanks which are kind of holding off our team at the F sort of 2 area? But I need to kind of wait for them to come to me because I don't want to get shot by the right hand side on the sort of hill area. Now that was a horrendous shot, don't really know what I was doing, but now we are able to track this enemy TD in position, and because of the rapid fire gun, he can't get untracked, and we're able to finish off that Sturmpanzer there, confirming our second kill of the game. And now we can finish off these heavy tanks which were holding up our team. And you can see here we pick up our third kill of the game, and now we can farm this Hydra here, who actually gets shut down before we can fire a shot. But now looking at the mini-map, a lot of the tanks are on the sort of 890 line, and we do have shots into them, but they also have shots into us. Now we blind fired the UDES and we thought, maybe he won't move. He hasn't. We've got a second shot in as a blind fire. Why not? We'll try another shot. No, it misses. But you never know. So we're going to keep firing this location because that UDES is going to outspot us all day. But we managed to get a third shot in as blind firing this tank, putting us close to 5,000 damage here. This is a close game at this stage. It's still losable, but we've got all of our hit points, so we can afford to eat a few shots. Now I'm pushing in to try and spot this tank. He gets detected. We put another shot through his cupola. Brings us over the 5,000 damage mark. You can see how crazy you can pick up damage. In the right scenario, you can pick up damage very quickly. We track this enemy Borsig in position. He bounces his shot, and we're able to get another shot for his drive wheel. He can't escape now. Can we get the kill? No, we get shut down by our vengeance, but we do pick up the track assessment. Bring this to a 7 versus 4, and we're now just moving in. It's kind of been a little bit of a waffle stomp, we've just kind of pushed these targets in front of us and just absolutely deleted them, somehow keeping all our hit points. We've got 1,400 hit points left. We can eat shots at this stage. We do end up killing that Stark there, sorry, not UDES, sorry, a Stark, the premium Swedish tank destroyer, and we do actually get a 4th kill, put us on to 5,000 3,700 damage with 3 tanks remaining and 9% hit point pool. So we're going to try and move in, and we just want to get some more shots in. You know, can we just break that 6k barrier and try and get some more targets in? Now this enemy medium is a one shot, meaning that the tank with all the hit points is a G-Saw. Thankfully gets spotted in the open. This is going to give us an opportunity to get 1 or 2 shots into the target. We do squeeze one in, but he's now got into cover. But if he keeps pushing on this path, we might be able to get some shots in. Now you can see I don't have the best mobility. I've got a top speed of 25 kilometers an hour, but because of the map we didn't really need the mobility on this one, and yeah, we was able to get into a fight as quickly as we can. Now can we finish off the G-Saw? Yes we can. We pick up our 5th kill, brings us an end to replay number 1. Let's see how we finish that one off before we go on to our final replay. We get 5 kills, 6,500 damage, 2,400 base XP, and we go on to have a really good game there. So yeah, one more replay to come, so let's move on to the final replay of the video. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2. This time we are on Kasserine and it's tier 9 matchmaking. We do not have to worry about the enemy fun police, but there is 2 enemy light tanks to contend with. Now Kasserine is quite a big map, and we don't have the best mobility. We've only got a top speed of 25 kilometers an hour, so it's going to be a little bit painful getting into position at the start of the game. But we're going to try and get to sort of the G sort of 5-6 area. At least that's the plan. Depending on what gets spotted, maybe we'll change, but that's the initial plan. And it's just going to take a little while to get there. Like I say, you just don't have great mobility in this tank. But you do have the 10 degrees of gun depression, and Kasserine is a map where there's quite a few dunes, and you are able to try and get into some positions to maximise that gun depression, and then try and make your armour a lot more effective. Because essentially, if you're trying to use as much of your gun depression as you can to elevate that sort of superstructure position, to try and make the angle as extreme as possible, it's going to give you the best chance of bouncing shots. Because I say the armour can be effective in this tank. It's kind of like it's effective until it's not. The second people start slamming those high penetration heat shells through you, then they will be able to go through your superstructure, and that is something you have to be aware of. But when that's not happening and you are using your gun depression to make that angle better, you can bounce a few shots, especially when you are in a top tier matchmaking. Like I say, this particular matchmaking is tier 9. But we don't have to worry about getting shot by the artillery, which is nice because we are quite an easy target to get shot by the artillery in. But as you can see, we managed to get to this position, and it looks like some enemy tanks are playing quite aggressive. Now we try and get a shot into this enemy American tier 9 heavy tank there. Unfortunately we ricocheted. Now the person playing that tank, Anton, is actually a friend of ours, and yes, they're a really good player and a nice person as well, so shout out to them. But we are going to try and get some shots into them if we can, because it's a top tier tank and I want to try and get away with their hit points here. But I can't push into them because there's a T95 I believe in the low ground. That's not going to end well for us. But you can say we do have the gun depression, so we're using this ridge to get shots into their cupola and not exposing that much of our armour when we're getting these shots in. We've managed to get 2 shots in, which puts them on probably a likely 3 shot, possible 2 shot, more likely 3. Try and get another shot into the cupola, but he does put the gun up there to prevent us getting that shot in. But now, as you can see, we've spotted an enemy T49 light tank. That's not good news because they're running a derp gun for one, and also if they get behind us, it's going to hurt. So we're trying to pull back here. We don't have the best turning circle. We do manage to at least get 2 shots in. Unfortunately for us, the T99, the light tank does slap a shot into the side of our armour. But I guess we actually get kind of fortunate there, because if they would have been a little bit more patient, got behind us, that we'd have lost a lot of hit points, and we probably would have got set on fire as well. So I would say we escaped that one quite luckily, because the light tank has run off and left us. This is going to allow us to pull back, because we need to pull back. This game is very, very close, and now we just spotted a T95. He's aware of us. He's going to try and slap a big shot into us. This is not good news for us. Thankfully, we just get over the ridge enough to sort of make that angle more extreme, and we ricocheted the shot there, which is good because that would have took away a lot of our hit points. Now, it's not looking fantastic for our team, is it, at this point? The enemy team are kind of winning the other side. 6 versus 10 now. The enemy team have the the number advantage and the hit point advantage. It's not looking great. We try and get a shot into the enemy medium tank. We do. I think we then get proxy spotted by Anton in the heavy tank to the right. I'll be honest, at this point of the game, I'm thinking I'm probably going to die here. But let's just try and make it as difficult as we possibly can. Hang on for as long as we possibly can, because you just never know. I really need to kill this enemy medium tank though, who's actually just slapping the heat shells through us, and yeah, not great. But he gets shut down by our UDES. That's good news. We put a shot into this enemy heavy tank. He does put one into us, leaving us on a 1 shot. But can we get the shot in for the cupola? We don't need to. Thankfully, our friendly UDES 16 saves us again by getting that another shot in. That puts us on to 2,300 damage. 5 versus 8, but we're on life support here. We're on 206 hit points. It's going to be a difficult one. Now, we can't go chasing, pushing this damage because we don't have the mobility to do so, essentially. They get behind us, we can't take any shots, we've got no hit points, so we're going to have to stay patient. There's 3 tanks behind us. 1 enemy tank has got into the cap circle. I can't get across that cap circle in time for the reset at this point, not with these tanks in front of me. It's physically impossible. So all I need to do is just try and get as much damage as I can. Try and cover our Vanguard, because our Vanguard is the only tank who can get back and get the reset at the moment. So I need this Vanguard, our friendly light tank, to survive. Hoping to try and kill the 1-shot T-32 there. If we can kill him, maybe we'll leave a bit of space for our Vanguard to go and get the reset so we can continue this game, because it's very, very close at the moment. Enemy team definitely have the advantage. So we're pulling back to try and get a shot into this T-32 Proto if he gives us one. They're distracted by the Vanguard driving around. There is also, I believe, an Iron Rain. We may have a slim shot at this T-32. Thankfully, we managed to connect, killing the tank, and now I need our friendly Vanguard to go for that reset. He is actually battling the enemy Iron Rain though. Like I said, I want him to get this reset. If we don't get the reset, we will lose the game. If a Vanguard dies, we will lose the game, because I can't get to that reset at this point. Unfortunately, Vanguard's left on the 1. Can I help him out and finish off this Iron Rain? Thankfully, another slim shot, and I'm thinking, yes, that's brilliant. The other 3 tanks are on the other side of the map. That means there's 1 tank unspotted, which we know exactly where he is. He's in the cap circle. It's a tier 9, heavy autoloader. So I'm just praying my Vanguard realises that he needs to come back and get the reset. Thankfully, he has acknowledged and said affirmative. Now we know that we're in business. We can try and go and get this reset, because it's all on our friendly Vanguard at this point. If he gets the reset, we'll have a chance of winning this game. I can't get over there. We've got 20 seconds. He's got enough time. He's got enough time to get this reset in. If he just gets that 1 shot in, who knows, we could try and pull this back, but we don't have a lot of time. There's 1 heavy tank in our friendly team battling the 3 on the other side. Kind of need him to hold on for as long as I can. He can as well. Thankfully, the Vanguard, the hero, does get that reset. That's bought us enough time to kill this tank. He gets another shot into him, but at this point, it's like we've got to kill. I need to kill this tank before we kind of lose our tank on the other side, and then they start coming behind us, because if that happens again, it's another situation where we can't win. So my only chance to win this game at the moment is with this Vanguard together. Let's kill this enemy tier 9 heavy tank, kill him quickly. Now thankfully our BZ is doing a really good job on the other side of holding those tanks for as long as he can. He's killed the FCM-50T, but it's left with just the enemy Vanguard on the other side and the enemy Demolisher tank destroyer. He has now gone down, but he's done a brilliant job of surviving for that long. But essentially now, we've got about sort of 30 seconds, 40 seconds to kill this tank before the other tanks come over. If this tank's still alive when the enemy Vanguard or Demolisher get to us, we're going to lose. So we have to kill him now. Now, unfortunately, we're both 1-shots, and he's an autoloader. He can clip both of us in his clip here. But if our Vanguard turns him, I'll get some shots in. Now I've ricocheted one of his shells here, ricocheted a second shell. I need a Vanguard to turn this tank around, get him distracted. I'll go in to help then the second he does. He's done exactly that. He hits a shot which is huge. That allows us to get that final shot in and pick up the kill. Bringing us to a 2 versus 2. We have an enemy Vanguard and an enemy Demolisher. Now both of us are one shots. Now the enemy team have 4% hit points left. So I don't really know how that's split out on the enemy team yet. But this is going to be very, very tight. But yeah, thankfully for our Vanguard, he's done a really good job here of helping us, win this game, or put us in an opportunity where we can win this game, because we was in a very, very bleak position. But I can only imagine the enemy tanks are pushing our direction. It makes sense. So I'm going to try and get back into a position where I can cover our Vanguard. Again, there's an enemy Vanguard on the team. If he gets behind us, game over. So I need to try and get into a position where I can stop that happening, or give me the best chance of that happening. Enemy Vanguard gets spotted. He is a 2-shot to us. I'm guessing the enemy Demolisher is probably a 2-shot as well, because of the 4% hit points. And yeah, we need to try and get some shots in to help him out. I think our Vanguard put a shot into the enemy Vanguard. Actually, it looks like the enemy Vanguard's a 1-shot, so I'm mistaken. That's huge. If we can get that shot into that tank, can be a difficult one to get a connector shot, just because I don't have the fastest shell velocity in this tank, and obviously the Vanguard is naturally a difficult tank to hit when it's full on the move. But I need our friendly Vanguard to spot these tanks. He's getting pushed by the Demolisher. If he can try his best to stay safe, which is awkward because he's got caught in a cross angle between the enemy Vanguard and this Demolisher. Going to try and connect a shot into the Vanguard. I snapped it. It wasn't fully aimed. It doesn't connect. Unfortunately, our friendly Vanguard goes down. Now that puts me into a 2 versus 2. This is far from ideal. I need to try and kill this Demolisher quickly. They're both autoloaders. Both got 3-shot autoloaders in. I think he's got 1 shot left. Now I think the Demolisher is on reload, because he's killed the Vanguard, he shot at me, and then he missed. So we're able to kill the enemy Demolisher. That puts us into a 1 versus 1. But can we get the shot into the Vanguard while he's detected? If we hit this shot, this is our opportunity to land and connect and win the game. Unfortunately, I just do not give that enough lead, and we missed the shot. He's probably going to go unspotted here. And once he's gone unspotted, it's going to put me into a real awkward situation. Like I say, it's not easy. It's not easy to shoot the Vanguard when we're on the move. What we're on about 3,800 damage, 4 kills, tiny bit of assistance, just shy of 4,000 blocked. But really, at this point, we're both on 1% hit points. I don't know what would happen if it finished and we don't kill each other. It could be a win, it could be a loss. Really difficult to say. But what I do know, if I move from this position and get caught out in the open, I'm going to die, because the Vanguard can outspot me, he can get behind me, he can outmaneuver me. So really my best bet is just waiting for him to come in for me. Now at this point, I think logically he's probably going to come from the right while I'm turning there. That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping I can just sort of stay up high enough that maybe I'll be able to spot him as he comes in, or if I get detected, try and turn as quickly as I can to put my frontal armour in front of the Vanguard. I'm thinking it's probably the advantage to the Vanguard at the moment, just because in this scenario he can outspot me, he can take it slow, he can, he's got just shy of 3 minutes, he's got enough time to outmaneuver me. I'm really stuck here and hoping for the best at this point. I think missing that shot early on the Vanguard was a real problem. Now at this point I'm thinking he must have probably turned to the right. I don't know why I'm not looking right hand side. I'm just trying to keep my tank, I guess, facing central so I can turn either side when he gets spotted. I'm keeping my cupola high so I've got a better chance of spotting him on the right. It's just at this point I'm hoping can we get the kill on the Vanguard? Is he just going to run? Is he going to run? But I'm stuck, aren't I, in this position? And I think this game at one point it was like the enemy tank had 5 tank lead. It looked like an almost certain loss. So we've done so well to get to this position. But then the Vanguard comes in, he bounces one of the shells, he bounces a second shell, and we stab it in. We get so lucky. Maybe I deserved a bit of luck. I don't know. But yeah, thankfully it went in my favour that game. And we finished it off with 5 kills, 4,000 damage, not as much damage as the other game. I just think it was a bit more exciting because of the way it ended, you know. But there you go. Thank you so much for your amazing support, and remember, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!